Hi guys, courtesy of the hard work of the legendary data miner Otrix and MCOC Journal, we're going to do a full abilities breakdown on one of the for one of the data mine champions in August 2019. So Warlock is tech. So his bio. So greetings. Self is referred to as Warlock. Self is capable of many wondrous feats, including changing shape, so a shapeshifter, and making jokes. So transmode virus also used to transfer life glow en- from okay entity designate opponents. Self will not harm in any the champion of the contest. Much harm will come to any who attempt to hard self or self friends. So that is just a short bio for Warlock, okay? Let's get into his abilities. So his passive, he is immune to bleed, poison, cold snap, and frostbite. So kind of like Iceman. No. He's a counter to Iceman because he's immune to cold snap. Also immune to bleed, counter to Gwenpool, poison, counter to Mysterio, and the OG version of Ultron. His durable tech nart grants Warlock a permanent armor up buff, increasing armor rating by 700 plus 700. For this buff is removed for any reason, it will refresh itself after 10 seconds. While this buff is active, opponent's special attack cannot be critical. Oh, he's pretty much crit immune, okay? So he gains a permanent armor up, okay, due to his Technarch. That I believe that is his armor. So when you make contact with him, the opponent gains a charge of Techno-Organic Transmode Virus. This virus is not affected by ability accuracy, so Black Widow will not work. Once the opponent has 20 charges, they are removed and replaced with one infection passive that lasts for 20 seconds. The duration is decreased by 6 seconds for each unique buff on the opponent when it activates. So once the opponent has 20 charges, they are removed with one infection passive. It will last for 20 seconds, and the duration of and its duration is decreased by 6 seconds for each buff on the opponent when it activates. All right. Techno-organic transmode virus infection. So another one of his passive. The opponent is heal block. Oh, heal block. Example, kind of like Yondu. If the salve mastery is active, the mastery is removed. Oh my goodness. So it also affects your salve mastery. That's not a pretty good time for me. Well. So it also affects the salve mastery. I mean, it will be removed. Okay. The opponent has 30% offensive ability accuracy. Whenever the opponent would gain health while infected, they drain 5% of their current power for over 0.5 seconds. So he also power drains the opponent. So while blocking, if the block was well timed, so parry, the opponent gained 3 virus charges. So his opponent would gain 3 virus charges each time he parries them. If the hit was a non-contact basic attack, the opponent instantly drains 10% of their current power. So there you go, another power drain for him. Heavy attacks. Lacerate opponents, inflicting 2,185 bleed damage over 5 seconds. So if you spam his heavy, you'll bleed the opponent. So let's go to his synergies. So self-friends with Warlock, Magic, and Sunspat. So Warlock, special abilities generate 70% less power in opponents. Okay, so you can spam specials more because his specials cost less power. For Magic, her attack rating is increased by 50% while in Limbo. Ooh, 50%. While Limbo is active, so kind of like a magic buff. Sunspot, incinerates have 25% increased duration. Okay, increases Sunspot's incinerate abilities. Robot Uprising with Ultron Classic, Ultron Vision, and Vision Age of Ultron. Whenever any teammate would receive a debuff they are immune to, they gain a Fury buff, increasing attack by 60% over 6 seconds. Okay, or for 6 seconds. Whenever any teammate would receive a debuff they're immune to. So example, your teammate is immune to bleed. They will gain a Fury buff. Okay, I get it. Increasing their attack by 60% for 6 seconds. So kind of an Ultron buff. Going viral with Cable. For Warlock, now Warlock, whenever the opponent would gain 1 or more virus charges, 50% chance for them to gain an additional charge. Okay. So maybe I think he'll inflict more damage to the opponent. Cable, the ability accuracy of Cable's regeneration effect is increased by 10%. Alright, increases Cable's regen. Mutant Agenda with Domino, Magneto, and Magneto Marvel Now. All champions gain plus 12% special attack damage. Not bad. So kind of like a Magneto buff. So his signature ability, Child of Kravsh. When opponent's power is drained or burned, degenerate the opponent, dealing 862 direct damage over 2 seconds. Whenever power is drained, so whenever you drain the opponent's power, you basically deal degen damage, dealing 862 direct damage, okay, for 2 seconds. Now his special attacks. SP1, Mega Buster. The last hit shocks the opponent, dealing 3,000. The last hit shocks the opponent. Sorry. So let's repeat it again. So SP1, Mega Buster. The last hit shocks the opponent, dealing 3,451 energy damage over 10 seconds. If they are infected, this also triggers when the attack is activated, but half as long The first hit removes all infections to passively drain 25% of opponent's max power over 5.5 seconds for each infection removed. So the last hit would shock the opponent. So dealing, oh, it's kind of strong. It's a shock damage because only few champions are shock immune in the game. An example would be Nebula and the Thing. Dealing, okay, so he would deal shock damage of 3,451 for 10 seconds. And if they're infected, this attack also triggers when the attack is activated. Okay. And the first hit would remove all the infections to passively drain 25% of the opponent's max power for 5.5 seconds. So it also deals a power drain. SP2, the final hit places 2 armor break debuffs on the opponent. Armor break, kind of like Medusa. Each reducing armor rating by 2,100 for 10 seconds. If they are infected, the debuffs also trigger when the attack is activated but lasts half as long. The last hit refreshes 1 infection. So the final hit will place 2 armor break debuffs on the opponent and reducing their armor rating by 2,100 for 10 seconds. So armor break, okay. So like a counter to Infinity Man, Iron Man. SP3, Dine and Smash. Inflict a passive power burn on the opponent, draining 100% of their current power over 5.5 seconds and dealing damage proportionate to the amount lost. It's kind of like Vision. Regenerate 1,243 health for each infection the opponent has. So it's pretty cool. His SP3 would power burn the opponent, draining 100% of their current power. So it basically drains all their power for 5.5 seconds. So that's a long duration. Pretty awesome. For that duration, it kind of is a mini power lock because the duration of the power burn is 5 seconds, and it would deal damage proportionate to the amount lost. So like what I said earlier, it will deal more damage based on how much you drain, based on how much of the power you drain from your opponent. And he will also regenerate 1,243 of his health for each infection the opponent has. Pretty awesome. So he's a beast. He would regen and he has power burn. Both of his special 1 and SP3 could deal power burn. His SP2 has an armor break. Okay? Pretty much we're done. Let me know in the comment section below what do you think about the Warlock. I think it's pretty strong, you know? A power burn machine, an armor break machine. He can also regenerate. Alright? Please subscribe if you haven't already. And leave a like if you would. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video or you found this video helpful. Please like and subscribe, guys. And I do appreciate you guys watching my videos. And again, thanks for subscribing and take care.